Now, scores of family members and loved ones are gathered at the residence of the 10-year-old boy Ishmael, who was allegedly killed by two teenagers at Kaswa days ago. They are awaiting his remains for subsequent burial later today. It is an emotional scene as scores of women gather around the mother of the deceased, trying to console her over the loss of her last child. Maxwell Agbagba is there for us. Maxwell is joining me now. Maxwell, what can you report? Maxwell, if you do hear me, what can you report?
Well, Gifty, so as it stands right now, we're waiting for the team that went to the police hospital morgue, where we're told that the remains of the 10-year-old boy was kept. We're waiting for the team to come from their police hospital morgue. We're told that they left in the morning. All the people who are here are also waiting for that aspect of the event to begin. But as I speak to you now, the compound of the 10-year-old boy, his residence is full. It's filled to capacity. What is happening now is that people are getting extra chairs from elsewhere to come and sit under trees and under some of the tents that have been mounted here. You remember that yesterday when the regional minister Justina Marigold Hassan visited the family, the spokesperson for the family, Samet Kalilu, actually made a plea that the body should be released for the family so they can bury the remains, and he said that that would give the family some kind of closure on this particular issue. The regional minister promised that she would ensure that the body is released to the family, and that's what we're witnessing here today. This event, the burial was supposed to take place on Tuesday, but it didn't happen because police officers said that they had to finish with their investigation. So right now, all the people here are waiting for the team that went to the morgue to arrive here, so that the necessary tradition will be performed before the remains will be taken to the Amanfrom cemetery. But if you walk through this gate right now, mother of the deceased is in there. We saw her. She's not in a state where she could speak to us, but we saw quite a number of women, about 30 of them, seated very close to her, trying to console her. We are told that Ishmael, 10-year-old Ishmael, is her last son. So there's that kind of great bond and attachment to this last child, and that is what is causing the grief here to making it difficult for a lot of people to come to terms with what has happened. So quite a number of women are in there trying to console a Gifty.
Well, Maxwell, I'll say a very big thanks to you. Just so we know, do we have an idea when the police will be releasing the body? Have they indicated so?
Have they indicated? Can you come again?
Have they indicated what time they'll be releasing the body to the family?
Well, that we do not know the time that they'll be releasing the body, but we were told that the team left here in the morning and they were expecting them to be here earlier than now, but it looks like people have been waiting here for hours. But many of them I've been talking to here are quite optimistic that they would get the remains today so they can bury. Ishmael himself, his parents are actually Muslim, so their wish actually was that when the incident happened, he should have been buried in accordance with Islamic tradition, but that could not happen because of the circumstances under which he lost his life. So on Tuesday it didn't happen. Today, many of them I've spoken to here are quite optimistic that the body will be released for burial today, Gifty.
Maxwell, thank you very much. We'll come back to you later on in the day for more details. Maxwell Agbagba is our man on the ground there in Kaswa. That's the family home of Ishmael, the 10-year-old boy who was killed. Well, the traditional priestess alleged to be at the center of this gruesome killing of Ishmael, the 10-year-old boy, according to the police, has been arrested. Maxwell Agbagba has been digging into the background of the 18-year-old suspect by interacting with his grandfather, some residents, and the Royal Majesty College of the Great Lamte Mill School, where he is a first-year SHS student.
Some young residents of the community where the killing took place are gathered here still discussing the gruesome incident. Here I've met Stanley Ansa, a footballer. Stanley says the 18-year-old suspect was a childhood friend who loved church activities until he started associating with what he describes as bad company.
I'll say I knew Nicholas by the age of, let's say, 10 to 11 years. And then we've all been in the same wood. He came to my father's house. We sleep together, we eat together, we go to church together. And then he was a kid that even when we are going to our hometown, he go with us. He was like a family boy. Okay. He was like a family. I really like him a lot. But as soon as all of a sudden Nicolas just changed, he started doing drugs and all sorts of things. And then I didn't entertain him here. So he went away and then joined those who he can join. My father was, I would say, an elder at Apostolic Church Ghana. Okay. So when we came, we were first going to church at Lamte Mills. Nico goes with us. And then we were moved from there to
Stanley tells me the deceased 10-year-old Ishmael used to carry his shoes anytime he's going to play football.
I went and then look at how the boy was lying. And then it really got me angry. Because Ishmael, this is my best friend. I play the same team with him. So if we are going to the field, Ishmael holds my boots. And then Ishmael's elder brother, that is Mustafa, will carry his boots. Everywhere we go with those two boys.
The family kind of destroyed. Some people, they sat there from their room, so they put their things.
I am now at the home of the 18-year-old suspect. His grandfather, Noah Kinney, just unlocked his door to show me how he was lying on his bed an hour before he left the house to commit the alleged act. Noah Kinney says his grandson gained admission to a secondary school in the Volta region but was unable to enroll due to financial constraints. He later managed to get him a place at the Royal Majesty College of Great Lamte Mills.
On the day the incident happened, did you see him?
Oh yeah, I wake up the morning, his room is in the corner here. So I wake up and I knock the door, they open the door already. So I see a line on the bed and I greet him. What is happening on you? He said the heart was paining. So before the same day, 10:30 going before 11, then I have a messenger here told me that Nico and somewhere have killed somebody. I confused, but I don't have anything to say about that.
Many of the residents I interacted with used some uncomplimentary words to describe the behavior of the 18-year-old suspect. They told me he was once arrested on the charge of defilement. A police source confirmed the claim. Noah Kinney denied the allegation but said the only time his grandson was arrested by police was when a man he used to work for accused him of stealing $10,000 4 months ago.
Nico, they are working in a large compound, about 5 people. So I don't know reason Alaji point Nico alone that you go and sweep in hall. So after sweeping in hall, and Alaji say it's $10,000 I have lost in the room. I'm an old person. I don't believe. So he came here and reported the case. We have shrine in the nursing quarters. And then Nico said we should go there because in the area here, if something happened like that, you go to shrine.
Noah Kinney told me his grandson was a staunch member of the Hope Generation Church in Kaswa, but stopped at a point. He warned him to stay away from bad friends.
First, you couldn't pray with church. He was in the Kalabuli church. I don't know, as a Kojoboshi in church. A Hope Generation. That's the church he was attending. But very soon he could stop, don't go to church again. Because of that, I was quarreling with her that you're supposed to be in the church by this time. So he's a Christian. Because when you are a young boy have come in and you have a too much of friend, everything can happen, like what we are seeing now.
Grandfather of the 18-year-old suspect says there is currently a rift between him and the father of the other boy he's accused of committing the act with. He says the 16-year-old suspect stole his father's money and brought it to his son, the 18-year-old suspect, for them to buy a phone.
The same boy that Anani, some years ago, Anani stole his father's money, bring to this house, that they should go and buy phone. So that money to become a problem between Nico and me and his father. You see. So I want him to stop that Anani. You see, you can friendship for everybody. When you saw mistake in somebody's life, stop that person. But still.
Well, I'm currently here at the Royal Majesty College of Great Lambton Mills. Here is where one of the suspects' schools. I've been speaking to the administrator of the school, Sophia Lamte, who says she was shocked by the news.
No, the boy, we don't know much about him. We admitted him like 4 days, then we vacated. So the school is now on vacation. So we don't know much about him. He just came as a new student. He didn't even report early. He came late. We admitted him late. So he came in like 4 days, 5 days. 4 days, the next day we vacated.
Okay. But how does the school feel about this?
Since the school is on vacation, there are no teachers and staff around, so we have heard of it, but I'm shocked because I know him. Yeah, I know him. Yeah. I'm shocked. I've seen him. Not that I know him much. No, he's just a newcomer in the school, and the school doesn't even know much about him. So.
Did you ever think that he could do that the way you saw him?
No, he looks so innocent. So we didn't even expect that thing from him, no, at all.
Maxwell Agbagba with that report there. We'll bring you more of that at 3 p.m. Now, businesses in the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, reeling from the erratic supply of electricity to the city, are demanding a load-shedding timetable so that they can plan. The electricity situation in the city has been quite unstable for a while now, although officials have promised that all is being done to ensure constant and reliable supply by December. The businesses, particularly the printing houses, however, say the unplanned nature of the outages does not help their operations, and they would prefer a timetable so they can plan. Prince Apia with more in this report.
This is how the Asafo Printing Press Enclave used to be before the recent unstable power situation. This is how most of the printing presses have turned out to be. Unannounced power cuts are wrecking the operations. Kwesi Ajekum Hene is chief executive of Alpha and Omega Publications.
You know, our machines use this card. And recently, I lost 5 of the cards as a result of power outages. And each card costs 5,000 euro. And because we don't have consumer protection, who do you report to? So it's a big problem for us all.
Asafo, a buzzing printing hub in Kumasi, is not the same anymore. Nanama is a cold store operator here at Asafo in Kumasi. Her business is reeling under the impact of the current unannounced power outages.
A customer bought meat worth 2,000 cedis. The light was off throughout the night. Now the meat is spoiled.
A cold room is one that does not use generators to power. Today, freezing her stock is a big challenge. So this is one of the freezing compartments of the cold store here in Asafo. And as a result of the unstable power supply, the unannounced erratic power, this machine has damaged. And it would have to take the owner here more than 50,000 Ghana cedis to get a new one or fix it to get back into business. In recent days, they would have to seek the services of bigger cold room operators to stay in business.
But 3 cedis for long, no. Ebi so 7 cedis. And the last one, I could 2 cedis.
The cold store operators charge us any time we send our meat to be kept in their compartments.
The cold store operators and the fish market here are among the hardest hits. The situation has affected prices of frozen products on the market.
The fish becomes soft and it's difficult removing the scale.
Fish is a box about 3 point something. A be a 4.2, a be a 5 million. And it's a box about
the power outages have affected the prices of fishes now.
Meanwhile, both ECG and Gridco have been emphatic the power situation will persist until December this year. But business operators like Mr. Jekumhene and Nanama want the government to either provide a timetable or shed load only at nights for them to stay productive during the day.
The government should tell us if it's doomsday we are experiencing.
There should be a timetable set for us so that we all go by it. We will all disagree the situation whereby they are saying that they have nothing doing about that. That is unheard of.
If nothing changes with the current power cuts, electricity-dependent businesses could grind to a halt before the end of the year. Prince Apia reporting.
Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh says some parts of the nation will experience systematic power outages next month. That's how he puts it. This is in addition to the current outages that power consumers are already experiencing, said to be caused by system upgrades and maintenance works. Energy analysts and power consumers have in the last few weeks asked for a load scheduling timetable to enable adequate planning in anticipation of power cuts. Dr. Opoku-Prempeh, who has been speaking at a civil society engagement on current challenges in the sector, says government is committed to ensuring stable power supply despite the current challenges.
I received a letter from Midday informing me that the progress of the substations is such that in the month of May, there will be systematic power outages. So we have invited both ECG and Gridco. And in the light of that, let's sit and plan and communicate the people who will be affected way before it happens. That is a planned system upgrade that is leading to power outages that we need to communicate. As President Akufo-Addo stated in the State of Nations Address 2021, a revised energy policy is going through its final processes of consultation. At the appropriate time and approval, it will be made available to everyone.
Matthew Opoku-Prempeh is Energy Minister. Now, the Greater Accra Regional Security Council has asked the National Disaster Management Organization to demolish a building erected on a waterway at Lashibi. The facility has been earmarked for a washing bay and has been under construction since last year. But the Regional Security Council says it has restricted flow of water. There is more in the following report.
Head of the Regional Security Council, Henry Cote, joined officials of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, and the police to tour the Lashibi community said to be experiencing floods at the least rainfall. Municipal engineer of the Tamworth Assembly, Vincent Blackwashi, said all attempts to stop the construction of
made him aware of the development that is going on here with regards to the bridge construction and other things. But this developer is recalcitrant. Every time he calls his name Ebo or something, and he has the chiefs to him and whatever. So whenever you come here, there was even a time that we even had an attack here.
Go ahead.
Every time we come, we receive an attack. As I speak to you now, I have even videos of our visit here that we have written, stop work notices and other tests, and this developer will not stop.
NADMO officials there say they have discovered construction of some unauthorized structures in parts of the Tema area and wants the municipal authorities to take action on them before it leads to disaster.
I'm very impressed with my minister. Senior minister Nahukika, Pia Ejuman say we should make Accra work. Say Yema Ghana, Juma, Yema Accra, Juma. A greater Accra. Sebio, Ahano, senior acting Ramsar site, a reserved area. Oh, now happy, baby, another Ramsar site. And now call a Yinsu Dansoma Honum, so you another Ramsar site area. Say Otto John Munin Kikahua, and Sione Bar, and even the Adenta. Baby, Honuma, a ponds in Kikawa, and Siono, Kaebe one Kaka at Miako. Say, winning in a Jaffa. And no actitrica, and so the senior on him or Bepe Babia, definitely, or Befa Ediaco, Babia was what they call.
Chairman of RECSEC, Henry Cote, was also the Greater Accra Regional Minister, asked NADMO to demolish the unauthorized structures without delay.
The engineer is saying that they have not authorized this structure to be here. I don't have a problem when people are building, but especially with the rains about to set in, June 3rd at the back of my mind, we cannot allow these things to go on. The indiscipline. So please, NADMO, sir, you get machines.
Yes, sir.
By tomorrow. National Security to assist you, it has to go down.
That's a report for you there. Away from that, Kumasi Central Prison is bemoaning financial constraints in purchasing drugs for sick inmates. Managers of the Kumasi Central Prison say they are financially constrained to buy those medicines. Although they receive government support, the prison's authorities say that is not enough. In most instances, they have appealed for support from the general public. The authorities also find it worrying that the daily 1 cedi 80 pesos feeding fees for inmates at the Kumasi Central Prisons has not been increased. Mona Lisa Frimpong with more in this report.
A breakdown indicates every inmate is entitled to an amount of 60 pesos per meal. Reverend Canon Chief Superintendent Emmanuel Parkwesiansa is regional chaplain of the Kumasi Central Prisons.
As for the program, we have a lot of programs here, especially drugs. When they are sick, we take them to the hospital. We need to buy drugs for them. That becomes a problem. The government is doing his best, but still, we need the support of the outside. He's feeding them once the 80 pesos a day. You can imagine. So we need the support of everybody, because not all of them are criminals. Some is by accident, some is just misunderstanding that they find themselves in the prison. So we are also appealing to other people to come to our aid.
The Evangelical Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Divine Grace Amekom Parish, donated cash, food staff and toiletries to support the Kumasi Central Prisons. Reverend Obed Kwame Ajoga says it is a core mandate for Christians to donate to others. He encourages churches and individuals to reach out to the inmates regularly.
We've realized that the number of inmates here are more, and the government alone cannot take care of them. And as Christians, it is our call mandate to support people like this. Out of that, we can save their life too. And so we are here to do this presentation to assist the government. As time goes on, we will definitely come here to support, and even not just here, we will extend our hands elsewhere to support the inmates there.
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
Now, the seat of government, the Jubilee House, Kotoka International Airport, Tema Harbour and other key national assets are in danger of destruction should there be an earthquake in Ghana. This is because the facilities fall within the earthquake zone, which stretches between the Volta, Greater Accra region, Eastern and parts of the Central region. Ghana has recorded three earthquakes in 1615, 1636 and the last was in 1939, resulting in 17 deaths, 133 injuries, and led also to the resettlement of hundreds of people here in Accra. President Akufo-Addo today accepted recommendation of a committee put together to advise government on ways to contain possible earthquakes in the country. Yes, so watching Joy News today. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with business. And on to some business news now. The Bank of Ghana says it is working to halt unfair fees, charges and other practices in the banking sector. This has been captured in a draft document being circulated among players in the banking sector. Players before it is finally implemented. George Rafi has the details.
It has always been the practice of the Bank of Ghana to seek inputs from players in the banking sector before it introduces any policy onto the market. Therefore, the regulator is going a similar way before this directive is finally issued for the players. The Bank of Ghana in the directive is trying to abolish credit insurance and premium charges by banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions, which requires borrowers to hold credit insurance against any eventualities such as death, permanent disability, and termination of employment. The Bank of Ghana noted that even though it welcomes an initiative to ensure credit, is against this practice where institutions use their preferred firms and overprice premium charges to customers, which eventually could increase the cost of borrowing. The regulator maintains that this practice, it has also directed that banks are not permitted to retain insurance premiums collected from customers with the intention of implementing an internal insurance policy. The regulator is also not comfortable charging depositors account maintenance fee on savings accounts, which the Bank of Ghana thinks could in the long term discourage the opening of new savings accounts. Other practices that the Bank of Ghana is seeking to stop are charging extra or penalties for withdrawals and transactions done in the banking hall, as these institutions seek to discourage or push customers onto their electronic platforms. The regulator is soon going to halt the practice where borrowers are forced to transfer assets into the name of the financial institutions that they want to secure credit. These are part of several initiatives that the Bank of Ghana is proposing to check some bad practices and charges in the banking sector. It is, however, not clear for now when these directives will fully take off.
George Rafi with that report. Away from that, women make up 70% of Ghana's poultry labor force, yet only 7% own their own poultry farms. That's according to the Agricultural Cooperative Development International. A poultry farmer, Edith Akosa Wheatland, is however changing the narrative after quitting her job in the United States of America to venture into poultry farming here in Ghana. Anita Sewa Ajuga has more in this report.
After working with her uncle for a while, she decided to relocate to Ghana to start her own poultry business. With her little savings earned from a job abroad, Edith started her business. In 2013, She started her poultry business with 8,000 birds under Rockland Farms Limited in the Ashanti region. She currently has 80,000 layers and 3,500 broilers.
Well, it all started a few years ago, 2009, and I got fed up staying abroad and I wanted something to do. Something to come back home to do for other people also to benefit from. Because I left Ghana at a very young age, and with everything that I learned over there, I thought it was my duty also to come back home and share to develop my country.
It is Akosa Wheatland ventured into the poultry industry after spotting a gender gap in the industry. Raised by a single mother and inspired by the Sustainable Development Goals 5 of gender equality and women empowerment, Edith employs more women.
So I got into poultry from the research that I did. I saw that only a few women were into the poultry sector. And with the challenges, I did some research to find out why there were few women into the poultry, why the poultry sector was so dominated by men. And the things I came across, working capital, collateral, and a whole lot of things that women couldn't do. So I set it upon myself to challenge myself to get into the industry and also encourage other women into the poultry sector. By also empowering them, giving them a helping hand. Because I was raised by a single mother. And looking at the things that my mother went through just to raise me, I always feel the pain for the women. I always want to empower women. I want women to have the liberty of able to take care of their children without the stress, without the pain. And that is one of the things that motivates me to go into the poultry sector. The women, our women need a lot of support.
Although business has been lucrative for Rockland Farms, Edith says accessing wheat bran to process poultry feed has been a challenge to the industry. She is hopeful things will change for the better.
At the moment, one of our biggest challenges, getting a wheat bran to make feed, is a challenge. Most of the flour mills, they are exporting the wheat. It's a challenge. Because we have a competent government in charge, we are hopeful that this year things will change.
Anita Sewa Ajugan reporting.
And that's all for business. Your sports is next, and Muftau Nabila is standing by with it.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the sports segment on Joy News today. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Sports is deemed a male-dominated field. Indeed, it is. Few women venture into that arena. Those who have, most of them often leave neutrals in awe and inspired because they are so good at what they do. Talk of Serena Williams in tennis, Martha for football, Katy Taylor in boxing. What about kickboxing? There are not many stories to share, not even globally. But Sylvia Doga is aiming to make some history. She's currently Ghana's first female professional kickboxer, looking to change the narrative. Joy Sports' Asare Bediako spent time with her and is giving us details in this report.
I did running, weightlifting, yoga, and kickboxing, and I think kickboxing just fits right for me. Like, I love it. I enjoy doing it, and I think it's the best. It's the only time I'm truly myself, and so that's it. My mom is my biggest cheerleader. She supports me 100%. She's always been an athlete, but I'm just picking up from where she left off. So she's my biggest supporter. My sister, she supports me greatly. My siblings, my father is late, so yeah. But everyone around me supports me. I think it gives me a lot of strength to keep going.
Unlike many female athletes whose parents opposed their decision to venture into sports, Sylvia Doga has the full support of his mother and siblings. For her, kickboxing is not a preserve of males.
It's just a perception. So I'm just here to prove everybody wrong that everyone can participate in this and do great. So women, everyone, it's a good sport. It builds a lot of confidence, and it's very good for defense. And I think it's one of the best sports. We should encourage a lot of women and children and everybody to participate in.
Sylvia Duga is Ghana's only female kickboxer who competes at the Russian Grand Prix, which comes off in Moscow later this year. She has no doubt she will return to Ghana with a gold medal.
I think I'm prepared, I'm ready, and I'm going for it.
So what's your target going into the competition?
I'm going for win. I'm going for win. I'm going for gold, lots of gold. I'm just going to win. Win or nothing else. That's my mantra. Because everyone is now looking up to me to see what I've got. So I think I'm just going to smash it and be the best. Everyone, and prove everyone wrong. I want to make everyone around me really proud. I want to make myself proud. I want to make my family proud. I want to make people from my town proud. I want to make my MP proud. I want to make Ghana proud. I want to make everybody proud. Everyone that knows me, I want to make them really, really proud of me.
Duga, who is eager to make Ghana proud in Russia, draws inspiration from Ghana's boxing legend Azumah Nelson.
I kind of look up to Azumah Nelson. He's a legend, and if he's been able to do it from here to the world, I think I can also do. I can also get out there and be my best. I want to be the best ever of my time from here, from Ghana.
The journey may be long and the road bumpy, but with determination, hard work and desire, Sylvia Duga, writing her name in the history books of Ghana sports, is as inevitable as night gives way to day.
An incredible story perfectly put together by George Sports' Asare Bidiako. You'll have more of this at 2 p.m. on Sports Today. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullah, and this has been the Sports on Joy News Today. Entertainment is up next.
And before we go, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin says his election as Speaker of Ghana's 8th Parliament is God's plan. Speaking at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, he added that God wants all sides of the political divide to work together to develop the nation. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin had a rousing welcome in his home region of the Upper West region, where he was mobbed by the people, notable among them supporters of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. Immediately he touched down from the Ghana Air Force plane at the Wa Airport, which is now closed to commercial flights. He rolled out and headed straight to the One House Palace, where he met the overlord of the Wara traditional area, Nafusiri Sedi Pilipo IV, the Yerana, Alaji Sunguma Mumuni, and representatives of the 12 organized sects in Wa. His speech in Dagari was punctuated with sounds of number 3 from NDC supporters in reference to the tango he had in Parliament with his close friend and majority leader, Oseche Mensobonsu, over a week ago. He told the people that the number 3, which he brags about, is not for he alone, but for the people of the region where he drives his strength from.
Polo Akrama, Sunama,
if you were not praying for me, if you were not thinking about me, and if God had not accepted your prayers, I will not have been the speaker.
I swallow Waraka Soreza Bongbong Katu Mora Latinae Atanuri Yen
and call myself number 3. We should work to have a united front. Party politics has come to develop us and not to destroy us. The leader of the NPP today is President Akufo-Addo, and he is number 1. But by his grace, he cannot do anything without consulting number 3, which is me.
Kokumbale oyalda number 3 abadie.
He later met the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Sali, at his office at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council.
It was a belief that my lecturer, Professor Michael Kwe, the Right Honorable Speaker, would have automatically won because his presidential candidate had won the elections. But God has a different plan for Ghana.
Rafiq Salam filed that report. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There is more news there. Our top story is about the murder. The second accused was once arrested for stealing, and that's the grandfather revealing the story. We brought you more of that story at the website. My name is Gifty Andopia. I return at 3 p.m. with the pulse. Right now, though, Charles Aite is standing by. Bye-bye for now.